Hi guys, it's Tracy from Australia. I hope you're all well. I've popped in to share one of my latest projects. I have several of these books in my stash and I decided it was time to use one, and this one was probably the most well loved. There's lots of the embossing has been rubbed off, and I decided to use that as some inspiration. So I actually pulled the book apart and really distressed the spine and put it back together using several layers of muslin and some glue. So it looks like it's going to fall apart. It's actually sturdy, but just to make sure, I did use a hidden spine to sew my signatures in, so there's no actual pressure on the spine of the book. This is the original end paper, which is quite beautiful. There's my hidden spine and some lace. The theme for this book is botanical. I wanted it to be like a lady's journal that had traveled the world with a lady that enjoyed nature and had used this to collect little bits and pieces, botanical and you know, perhaps other things that she's come across in her travels. So these papers have that really layered look that I love, and I've accentuated that by adding washi bits of scraps from some of the page offcuts, and just to make it a little bit pretty, because it is a ladies' journal, I added in these eyelets and some little pearls in colours that toned in with the pages. So there's my first page, and I've just used some die cuts, and you can see the other parts of those scraps there. Beautiful florals, and also very very vintage. These little embossed cards, and I think you can see the embossing there, were gifted to me by my friend Roz, and they made a great addition to this journal. So on this side I've just created a little pocket with commercial piece, bit of washi added there, and there's some there as well, and just popped in some ephemera pieces. So the details of the digitals that I've used I will leave in the description box. Everything's been tea-dyed. Here I used a vintage photo and then created some pockets. So I've sewed the photo onto that piece of paper, which was a scrap, and then made a little pocket. Down here I've added some muslin and a little bit of lace. There's an old stamp, some Tim Holtz words there, and then some scrap pieces with an eyelet and another pearl. A little bit of stamping added to those pieces there. So plenty of space for writing, because as I said, this was a travel journal belonging to a lady. I've used a stamp up here and created a pocket here. This is some French ephemera, and I'll leave the name of the store and in the description box. So that's from Willow Bound Journals, her French ephemera. Here I've used a piece from Liana Scraps and made a little booklet with some scrap pieces. This was a little envelope that's been kicking around on my table, so I decided to use it in this journal. Popped a little stamped card in there. And I've seen a couple of times on YouTube recently, I think it was Gina Wiseman has wrapped thread around and tied a little bow, and I really like that. And I think have I seen Andrea Allen do that too? I'm not sure, but really like that and thought it would look good in this little journal. So a piece of willow bound French ephemera here, and these are some tags that I made recently. Doing lots of collaging and some stenciling with paste and some stamping and a bit of sewing. So I thought they really went with this journal. Some washi, and I've made a little pocket there and put a little ticket, a little tag in there. It's a very large pocket here, and there's a French letter that goes in there, and I've left that on my table, so I will pop that in there. And then some Tim Holtz words, and it says whisper to my heart and wonder. And isn't this, it's just the most beautiful photo. I'm assuming it's a photo. I guess it could be a piece of art. Oh, another one of my tags. These are Tracy Fox labels, which I've recently purchased. So some little tags there. Here I've used a photo as a pocket and put in a piece of the French ephemera from Willowbound. And I used another piece underneath to create a pocket and then popped in a piece of ephemera. So I've sewn around that. Another one of the, that's the other side of the embossed note, and some little tags that go in there. And that's the first signature. I did put some lace down the center there, which I don't normally do, but as I said, I wanted this to be a ladies' journal. On this page, I've decoupaged gorgeous wildflower that was from a napkin and some other bits. Added some additional paper bits down here and a Tim Holtz clipping that says the flowers appear on the earth. Here I've sewn to create some pockets with the page. I double printed it, made a little booklet with a scrap piece that just pops in there, and down here one of the tags that I've made. Then I've added the Tim Holtz words, I live beneath the open sky. I just love those wildflowers, so beautiful. And this is a large pocket, and there's a French letter on some tracing paper, and then I've made a large postcard with an old photo. So what I did with the photos was they're all of a young girl, and they get older. There's, I think, 4 photos in the journal. And I just like to tell that story. One of the cards that I've made, the tags, a little bit of lace, small pocket here, Tracy Fox label. So here I've created a pocket and put some baking powder underneath. Made this very large tag with an offcut from one of the pages that I'd printed. Made a little pocket up there with a little bit of paper in it, label, die cut. And then the ephemera acts as another pocket. This is a little pocket that I've made from baking paper. I've decoupaged and stamped onto that and sewn around it and just popped in a piece of the ephemera from Liana Scraps. This is the last photo, and I really like this one itself. This woman standing on, I guess it looks like a precipice overlooking a fantastic view, awe-inspiring. I printed out this page twice so that I could use a pocket, and there's a little paper doily behind it, and I've just popped in some ephemera pieces. And the Tim Holtz words say, the traveller, a strange and a wonderful place. So I'm imagining that this person travelled in the early 1900s. The other side of that bag that I've made, and this is one of the ephemera pieces from the kit, and I've just added a tab. So lots of space to write. This is such a beautiful page. Very busy, but just really pretty. And this tag I've made using an offcut, then I've stamped, added some stamping and a Tracy Fox label. Another one of the note cards and the pocket. And again, some ephemera to pop in there. Just added a little bit of bling and some sari, and I put a piece of washi on that side. And here I did double print this so that I could make a pocket, and I've actually sewn some, made a ruffle out of tracing paper, and then I made this little flip out just because I could. I love the yellows in this, so pretty. And then some ephemera pieces and another one of my tags. And that's the back with a little bit of washi. Okay, that's my little ladies diary, botanical diary. I hope that you've enjoyed the flip through, and I'll see you again soon.